Hello, everyone. This is Greg Aden for another episode of Servant Leadership. Today, I have with me a great man, a good friend, somebody who is competitive beyond description, but he does it in a way that, and I mean that sincerely, because we've all been around that guy, the competitive, you know what. But this person comes to it from a place of humility. And he really wants to compete in a way that everyone around him wins. And so with that, I give you Matt Hostetler, who is currently the Chief Development Officer with the Red Roof brand. He lives in Pennsylvania, and he travels all over the country. You'll see him on a variety of shows and hosts. I just heard you on a podcast with DEI. Shout out to David Kong and Rachel Humphrey. If you haven't listened to that one, by the way, please do. He digs deep into a lot of great questions asked by Rachel. But how are you doing, big fella? And what are you doing today?
I'm doing really well, Greg, and just doing what I do best. Connecting with people and trying to move things forward, and make a difference at our company for our clients, our franchisees.
Yeah,
That's when somebody puts the C word, chief, in front of your title, that comes along with a lot of responsibility, and I
yeah.
certainly do not take that lightly at all.
No, so if you were just to dig into your humble self for a second and answer the question, what do you do best? What do you think that is?
I feel that I connect people, but I also try to make them think for themselves
Mm,
in a way that is more beneficial to whatever the outcome is that they need, for
yeah,
themselves or for work or whatever it may be, because not everyone operates in the same manner.
yeah, that's
So
true.
if you know who you work with and how they're wound up, how their clock ticks,
Hmm.
you can take that person and just help them grow in such ways that they don't even know about. And people have done that for me, and I didn't even know it.
Yeah,
So, that's something that I love to share. I love to watch people come into my world, or I come into their world and help them grow.
hmm,
And in 5 years down the road, I look and say, wow, they're doing such a great job at who they are today, who
yeah,
they're being, as you will.
yeah.
And it's really important.
I would say that somewhere on your professional tombstone might be the word connector, might be the relationship guy, um, the the guy who's easy to be around. Who are the people when you look back, and let's go post college, but maybe even before Red Roof? Who would be the two people that actually helped Matt Hostetler recognize his true potential? Who would those two people be, and why?
Well, well, first of all, they'd have to be the people that give me opportunity
Hmm.
and see something in me that maybe I did not. And that was, basically becoming a leader. I had great opportunity with a moving and storage company. The owner of that company sought me for sales. And then understanding my passion for what I did day in and day out, came to me one day and said, we've been through a few general managers at this location. I'll never forget him saying this. He goes, what do you think we need in a general manager? And I
Hmm.
said, somebody that thinks like you.
Hmm.
Because if they're not thinking like you, they're already up against it.
Yeah.
And frankly, that's when he said, why don't you put your name in the hat? And that was really the day that I thought, wow, this is a person that believed enough in me to take that chance and say, you think and believe as well as I do the way this organization and this particular location for the van line is running.
Yeah.
And he gave me that opportunity, and I did it, and I did it well for him. And I was very proud of that.
Let
So
let's give that human being a name, shall we?
his name's Bart Williams.
Bob.
Bart, B-A-R-T, Bart
What?
Williams. He was the owner of Parks Moving and Storage. It started in Uniontown, Pennsylvania, where I grew up. He gave me my summer job. I
Great.
got to carry heavy things for a living.
Well, and
That's
you were an athlete back then. You still are, of course, but I'm saying you were playing football, high school linebacker, if I remember correctly, something like that.
You're correct. Yeah, and those
Okay.
those moving guys, though, that's a whole different lifting, and they would dial in on it, and they'd say, "Come over here, college boy," and I'd help them lift the trip, the baby grand piano onto a piano board and get that up on the truck. And I every day thank my mother for my college degree.
Well, I'm just going to say, if I were a running back in high school anywhere in Pennsylvania, I'm not sure I'd want to run into Matt Hostetler coming through the line as an angry linebacker.
Well,
Um,
it's kind of funny though. It was always one of those things that, as an athlete and one that really enjoyed the sport, that didn't take advantage of it or to think outside the box on it. We played the sport because we loved it.
sure,
I wasn't growing up where I thought, am I going to get the degree, or am I going to get a 4-year scholarship, and am I going to go to the NFL, and am I doing all these things that people do today, and
yeah,
rightfully so.
yeah,
We played it for the love of the game, and we would get up, and if we really liked you as a team, which is not easy to say,
sure,
we gave that wrist to pull up and
mm,
said, "Nice run."
yeah,
And you don't see that a lot today, but you still see it. But that's important. That a lot of these guys, as I grew older, became friends and were end up being in circles in which I ran.
sure, yeah,
So it's like, wait, you're Kirk Sahanage? You were the fullback at Guyville High School.
yeah.
You used to kind of run through the middle and plow some people over. And that's when the guy would just smile. And I'd say, but you never came around the end, did you?
Mm-mm. No, so you were an outside linebacker.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
So,
But he probably did come around the end. So I don't want to make any
well,
big
even
story.
if he did, you don't remember him running by you, right?
Right. He
No
didn't
one
run by. He
remembers
came
that.
outside, but I stopped him
So
for
back to the
sure.
question of the two people that influenced you and gave you opportunity. Bart Williams, the owner of the moving and storage company, and who would another human being be that you would say that really saw Matt Hostetler for who he wanted to be seen as, and what kind of opportunity did they give you?
Well, I'll tell you the story the exact way it happened. I got 3 different opportunities, and finally I said yes on the third one. And that's
Mm,
with Phil Hugh. Phil Hugh and I grew up together, childhood friends. I met him when he was 6 years old. I was 7. He has been a friend of mine since then.
wow.
He called me regarding 2 opportunities prior to me joining him at Sendent Hotel Group, selling Wingate franchises for now the company named Wyndham Worldwide and
Yeah.
Wingate by Wyndham.
Yeah.
So he
The-
gave me my opportunity to shine and to do what I'm doing today. For us to work together and be successful together is a testament to how you can be friends and successful at work at the same time.
Yeah, I don't have the length of history, but a dear friend of mine, you know him, Bob Eckman, we were in the industry together and kind of Batman and Robin there for a while at IHG and did some amazing things together. And to this day, he would be the guy along with Jim Ainsworth if you were to ask me, because Bob saw something in me that thank God for taking a chance. He hired me at Marriott Stan Terra Lake of the Ozarks, and then we had a nice career, 16 plus years at IHG.
And think about this, Greg,
Yeah.
how things evolve.
Hmm.
His son graduated from Missouri and was looking for an opportunity to break into this industry.
That's right.
He started with me.
That's right. Kyle did.
Yes. So
Yeah.
and what a bright young man. And he's got a huge, bright future.
Yes, he
And I'm
does.
proud to say that I've instilled some things that I'm sure he's taken with him along his way.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud to say that that's some of the DNA that gets spread around in this business. Earlier, before I'm sitting down with you, talked to another friend of mine, and had a conversation with his son that is very interested in getting in this business. And
That's
not
cool.
just specifically from an interview perspective, but just shared some of the things to make sure that he's aware of, that he should know, that he should talk about and discuss when he's talking with companies. So it
Yeah.
wasn't just about joining me, it was
Right.
about learning and understanding the right way and how to go about it.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, shout out to Bob Eckman. Shout out to Kyle Crumwitty. And Kyle, I believe you're now with IHG, and congratulations there. Working with another dear friend of mine, Roland Schick. So you're in a room full of 14, 15, 16-year-olds, and they're boys and girls, and they're just you're brought in to talk to them about how to be a good person, how to be a kind and humble individual, you've got about 20 minutes, but you paraphrase by saying the following to these kids. What do you tell them, Matt?
Well, I would tell them that, life's precious, first of all. And you have to live every day and be kind and be nice to each other and understand that they're learning like you're learning and growing together.
Mm,
And there might be an opportunity where you sharing something positive to that other 14-year-old, male or female, in
yeah.
the room can affect their life positively or negatively
Yeah.
going forward, and understand. And I'm grateful. I have a beautiful 12-year-old granddaughter, Sophie Grace, and she is being just parented appropriately. And the things that she says and how I hear her speak about some things that go on with kids' lives today.
Sure.
She doesn't, she leads by example and does that same thing. So it's very important that they understand that everything that they do as a young individual is going to be something that they're going to carry forward with the rest of their lives, especially if it's something negative, and something positive will always reflect as well. So
Sure.
just know that they can be very instrumental in how each and every one person in that room grows up together.
Yeah. Beautifully
It's
said. And
nothing like looking at that old elementary school seventh grade or eighth grade picture based on
yeah,
the age that you're
sure.
saying, ninth grade picture.
Yeah.
And you
Eighth
say,
grade.
what's that person doing now? What's that person doing now? And it takes you back to who you were
Yeah.
in their lives that day,
Yeah.
those days. Like, you could say, I could mention a guy named Mark Green. Mark Green was a basketball player, but he was also a hell of a trumpet player.
Hmm.
And guess what? I was a musician as well. I enjoy remembering that time period of being with Mark Green. Then I can spill over to the other guy, Brian McGee. He was our tailback. I
Hmm.
can talk about breakdancing and what my life was whenever I was his age, 14, 15 years old, and what we did together and how that impacted who I am today. So
Yeah.
it's huge.
It is. And it's these are the ages 13, 14, prior to puberty perhaps, but some of the girls are, my God, they're growing up so quickly and looking like young women a lot sooner than the ones back in our day. But it's ironic when what you said initially was life is precious. And I know that's in your heart, and that's in my heart today, and I believe that's a great thing to share with anyone. But you immediately then went to be kind and be nice. And God, does the world need more of that today? And then you said, share something, be positive. And then you also said that something that warms up my heart is just lead by example. Just be the example of goodness. And then, like you said, we're all in this together. We're all learning and growing. And what great advice, Matt. And I tell you, whether they're hearing it at home or they're hearing it at school or not, I hope they are able to ask the questions just like I do to other people that are wise and kind and say, what do you think? And somebody in their sphere of influence might share something as nice and kind as you did. So thank you for that. What besides selling franchises, working with a team, having a beautiful home, having a beautiful wife, shout out to Kia. Um, what do you love most about life? What really just gets you giggling inside and or gets you excited every morning? And again, let's go inside that inside. I know there's that juicy, soft person. I've seen him. I played with him before. Tell us what gets Matt going.
Well, I first of all, my wife gets me going. I
Good.
love my wife. Every relationship is different. She and I are both type A's. We both drive towards a positive result.
Yeah.
Very proud of her. She's stepped out of her 20 years of advertising sales with the company, and stepped into real estate, and she's just killing it.
Good.
So I wake up every day, just eager to be helpful to people, including her, to be successful and lead positivity at least lead a positive life,
Yeah.
be positive, and just I like to stay happy.
Yeah.
My wife always cracks, she always would crack up. This whole thing with Easy Pass came out, and I would never get Easy Pass. Greg Fox is my witness.
Hmm.
Finally, I got, obviously worked for many years with Greg,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
Greg was one of my bosses, and I used to follow Greg to appointments. He had the Easy Pass. I didn't. Why don't you want to get Easy Pass? I said, because people will lose their jobs. The toll takers will be gone. They got a
Mhm.
great job with a window.
Sure. Right.
They get to meet so many people every day. And
Yeah.
I always kind of made light to that, but technology takes over and other people get jobs, right?
Yeah, that's
But at
true.
the end of the day, I kind of think that I always like to make a difference, whether it's a smile or a giggle or whether I can provide somebody with something day in and day out.
Yeah.
And if I don't, I don't know if my day's complete.
Well, and this way of being, as you and I know what that means, who you're being and how came out in your interview or your conversation with Rachel Humphrey as well. And she just had so much respect for how you connect with people and how you connect other people. And there's something around this easy pass. I want you to make sure you write that down because I honestly, because I think, and again, this is just my humble opinion, I believe there's too many human beings on this earth today that are taking the easy pass. They're not doing the work, Matt. They don't want to put in the time, and it's maybe it's bad parenting, maybe it's bad schooling, I don't know, but I look around and I see too many people wanting it easy. And maybe in a whole nother podcast, maybe you invite me to that one, but it just drives me nuts.
Yeah, we could start one, not the so easy pass.
Yeah. And
You know,
it's
the road less traveled.
what's wrong with hard work. And
Right,
I'm not trying to be a 60-year-old grumpy guy who said, well, when I was your age. No, I'm not. In fact, I feel like what it's like to be in a seventh and eighth grader. I'm raising one. And
right,
I'm jealous at the same time. I'm thinking, if it's that easy, you're never going to appreciate it.
right.
And that's what I'm trying to get at. But
And listen, I appreciate the opportunities that the younger generation has through technology and the
sure.
ease to be able to make that money, build something, and then build something to give back
Hmm.
to the less fortunate. We do everything we possibly can to give back in, whether it be helping people or donating or, clicking the link and donating $100, whatever it may be. It's
Yeah.
the way we can do it and the way you can as a human being with what you've been blessed with, if you will. And I just see sometimes that, you're right, that we look at people and we have this opinion to say they're not working hard. Are they really working hard, but in a different way? So
Yeah.
that's what, then we have to dig that up and say, okay, what is it that they actually do? I kind of heard a couple of young men speaking at lunch the other day, and they were talking about the loss of $20,000 to $30,000 on, doing this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, well, okay, are you saying that just to be heard?
Yeah.
Or is it seems like it's not that big of a deal to you?
No. Well,
Because if I was wondering why I lost $30,000, it wouldn't be over a beer at lunch.
no, I hear you. I remember one of my first jobs out of college. I think I made $17,500 a year, and then got this huge opportunity with a little brand called Marriott Hotels to be in their management program, and way up to $22,000, man. Wow. Anyway,
Listen, I'm with you. We're the same. We're from the same. Cut from the same cloth, Greg. My
yeah,
first job with, the real. I always say the first real
sure,
opportunity was like 18.5 and some commissions.
yeah,
And listen, if I made 75 grand, I was living La Vida Loca.
you're
But
right.
let's reel this back a second. We still have people in our society that are
Amen.
busting their tail to make
Yep,
60, 70, sometimes 35, $40,000 a year.
I know.
And then we have other ones that are just so far. And I'm thankful for the degree that I have. The
Hmm.
fact that I can bust my tail to be a leader
Yeah.
and I don't sit at home and do nothing and
Yeah.
collect a check.
No.
I'm proud of where I got to from that.
Well, whether it's on your personal or your professional tombstone, Matt, somewhere on that piece of granite will be hard worker. And you never met someone that you couldn't communicate with. And I love you for that.
I
You are
appreciate that.
no, seriously, you have a way about you that you're serious, yet you make light of things so other people can feel more comfortable around you. And I've seen you speak dozens of times to me, in front of me, around something that's important to me. And you're always wanting to improve yourself too. And as a man that had the joy of coaching you for a bit, I loved your humble approach to what more can I do? What more can I do? And that curiosity is just something that a lot of people today lack because they believe they've already arrived. And even if you have, where are you going next? And that's what I love about you.
And thank you. And I appreciate that so much. I looked at, you know, sales and sales management and development, chief development officer. What do? You lead a team, you sell franchises. No, we have to do more than that.
Hmm.
We have to separate ourselves. We have to be different. What can I develop? There's development in there. Does
Yes.
that mean just sell franchises? No.
No.
Development of people,
Yep.
development of product, development of service, development. I mean, I have probably one of the most diverse franchise development teams that I've ever worked with.
Yeah. I saw your
And
picture
I'm
and
very proud of that because you get a different authenticity, a different mindset from all of these different personalities and ethnicities that think differently than maybe you do as a human being, or maybe they think the same way, but have never been given an opportunity. And then the opportunity from that point grows for them as well. And, really proud to add what, we added to our development team was our new RIDE program. And that's Road to Inclusivity, Diversity, and Entrepreneurship, led by Lena Patel. I mean,
nice.
this is something that I bring to that's the value.
Yeah.
And it's numbers are numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, I know about numbers, and I was on a podcast being interviewed the other day, and we were talking about, and he brought up something around the developer of the year, and I said, yeah, I've got 6 globes. The first time that Sam at Jackson at the time, I think he was 4, maybe 4.5. He goes on my shelf, picks up the globe, and rolls it down the stairs, and I thought, what the? And I thought to myself, it's perspective. I mean, it meant so much then, but it was just a marble ball rolling down the stairs. And I thought life will never ever be the same again. And thank God, because I don't miss those days, but I do. I sometimes I miss the rat race. I miss the travel. But now when I travel a lot, I think, God, I can't believe I used to do it so often. I
Yeah,
want
well,
you to
you miss the people.
no, yeah, yeah, I do. I do. I miss the people, and then there's some people I don't miss, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean. I don't miss the egos, to be honest with you. I don't miss the people who know their shit doesn't stink, but they still can't seem to find that humble pie. I want you to talk about your two leaders, the your RVP in the West and your RVP in the East, and just in brief, because I believe both men have grown considerably under your leadership, and I want you to without maybe saying anything about you, but where have you seen their growth, and how is that going to change? Perhaps if you decide to leave, and or rumor has it there's the president position available. I don't know if they've hired anybody as today, and I know you put your hat in there and or name in the hat. But tell me about these two men and where have you seen their biggest growth? Because that'll give us a chance to talk about you and your leadership at the same time.
Well, first of all, they're two great men, and very, very loyal, as well.
Yep.
I'll speak to the East Side. Rick Schaefer, his first job out of hospitality school at Penn State, was like a management position with Red Roof in Washington D.C. area.
Right.
And it probably wasn't the best area in Washington D.C. at the time.
I hear you.
Um, and his growth through the through the on property, and then leaving the on property type business and getting into development, with his wife and family, and building and owning hotels. Created another avenue for him and
Sure.
then ultimately getting in franchise sales, working with our competitor, G6 Hospitality is where he, cut his teeth in selling franchises and that sort of thing. And, you know, he saw what we were doing at our organization and wanted to come home, as he said.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
he said, I need to come home. And I said, well, here's what we have going on and let's stay in touch and that sort of thing. So eventually I had an opportunity to bring Rick back home. And he was extremely successful in sales. He knew everybody in the region to sell franchises to, and was successful at G6 and was successful selling franchises at Red Roof. And, the opportunity came with Alex at the same time when we had some movement in our organization. And unfortunately, the movement was happening during COVID.
Yeah.
Um, but this is when there was a lot of change happening. And, with the opportunity that I was given, I quickly had to build a team and I needed to act quickly. And the good part about it was the ability to act quickly was not difficult. And the reason why I say that is because I embraced each and every person on my team, not
Hmm.
only as an employee, but as a human being, understanding who they are, what makes them tick, and where they want to be in life and
Right.
what they want to do. So it was very easy for me to connect with Rick and to connect with Alex and say, gentlemen, it's your time.
Yeah.
I'd like to make an opportunity for you to stay in our organization and be the two leaders, East and West, on my franchise sales and development team. I'll call you back in 5 minutes.
That's great.
It was a little more longer than 5 minutes,
Sure.
but
Of
I had
course.
the ability to make those decisions quickly because I was in tune with my team.
Yeah.
And I knew that they were next level. They needed to be put to the next level. And interestingly enough, Rick and Alex coming from the competitor in 2016, what came and moved and relocated for me to
Hmm.
Texas,
Right.
and just dove in, building relationships, leading in sales, and being loyal and listening and understanding, and jumped right in as well and said, Matt, tell me what you want me to do. I'm going to take all my abilities that I have, and then I want you to coach me in the management and the leadership and all the other great things that we do here at Red Roof. And I said, all right, guys, game on.
Yeah.
So those are how these two came to me initially. We actually bumped into Alex at a golf outing. Phil was with me. And when I say bumped into him, like literally the golf outing got so backed up, our golf carts kept bumping into each other at
Yeah.
the tee off box, right?
Sure. Right.
So we started striking up conversation. And frankly, he's a guy that interviewed me
Mm.
in a course of 6 weeks. So he would call me and talk to me. And then I wouldn't I wouldn't think much of it. And then I thought, you know what? He's interviewing me. So
Yep.
then I finally said to him, Alex, would you like a job? He
Yeah.
said, I was waiting for you to ask.
That's beautiful. Well,
So
I
that's how it kind of worked out. And these two guys have really, really grown in the past 3 years.
yeah,
And it's
I had
3 years to like almost the date.
yeah, that's awesome. Well, shout out to Rick Schaefer and Alex. Help me with Alex's last name again.
Shamsuddin.
Sham Shimneen. Sham Shim.
Sham Sudeen. S
Sham
H A
Sudeen.
M.
Okay.
Sham.
Shu.
Shamsuddin.
Sam Sue. Dean. There you go. Easy for you to say. Well, I
Bless
know
you.
Alex and Rick very well, not as well as you do. And the reason I wanted to shout them out or call them out is because it's a testament again to you, Matt Hostetler, how you allow people to be their best selves and help people be their best selves. There's not a lot of people out there who can do it in the way you do. You have great style about yourself, but I also want to reflect back to what you said that, and this is what came out of what you were saying is they both listen, they're both loyal. You use that term for both of them. They're both coachable, and especially for Alex, he has this skill about being curious. And I'm going to leave you with this, and I want your two shakes on it. If someone told you that curiosity today is one of the more valuable leadership skills, what would you say to that, and why would you believe that to be true?
I would say absolutely correct, because if you're not curious about what's going on around you or down the hall, or implementation of an IT strategy and how that affects what we do down the hall with my team that's all remote,
Yeah.
then I would be losing. I would be losing
Yeah.
in my role, and my company would be losing having me in the role. Is they always say the term curiosity killed the cat, I think is how it goes. I
Hmm.
don't think curiosity kills anything. Curiosity would make the cat grow into a lion,
Absolutely. Thank you.
right?
What a
So
beautiful thing to say. Yeah.
yeah, and I love animals as well. So that's really good for all the. I mean, we're pet lovers at Red Roof. What can I say?
I know. And if I ever travel to a red roof, I most likely will not bring my cat, which I do have a cat now because of Sam and Brooks. They just so wanted one so bad. And I thought, the hell am I doing? But yeah, let's go for it. And maybe on the air or off the air, I'll tell you, I love snuggling with Stella. She's just a wonderful. And Tammy, no, I'm not replacing you. I just love Stella. Matt, I appreciate your time today. I love your zest for life. I don't know how else to say it, and you have a contagious relationship ability about you. And I'm just going to ask you, please don't change. Whether you get the president job or you move to another company, just I know you will, but just stay you. You're exactly what this world needs more of, my friend.
I appreciate that very much, and you as well, Greg. I mean, there's you've coached me, and we talk about authenticity a lot. There's always places where you can polish the authentic you,
Yeah,
but I will never change me.
good. Good. Well, God bless. And so people can remember him, he's currently the Chief Development Officer at Red Roof. You can find him on LinkedIn. You can see that beautiful face and the beautiful smile, and we won't talk about your body anymore. Thank you for being who you are, Matt. And to that, I ask everybody, listen for those around you that might need a little bit more or a little bit different, but listen first, be curious, be kind, be gentle, and lead by example. You demonstrate to your kids, to your team, to your partner in your world, what is it that you want them to see in you so they can be a better person, a better leader. And with that, if you can do any part of that, you'll be a better human being. And I know that to be true. So again, Matt Hostetler, thank you for spending some time with us. And to the rest of you listening, thank you. This has been Greg Aden at Aden Leadership. Come see us. Please know I'm starting group coaching kind of cohorts. If you're like-minded, like-hearted individual that just want to join a group of people, or if there's a team of you that want to learn about communication and productivity, I might have a guy that knows what he's doing. So with that, good luck, God bless, and we will see you on the other side. Thank you.